And so I was running in the bushes.
You say the bushes, but there's a tiger there.
And there's a tiger.
It's not a jungle.
The tiger was...
It's not a jungle. It's a bush.
Welcome to
hi.
Smok and Mirrors, where we unmask the makers of our local content. Today, I have an amazing guest. I'm going to mention a few things that she's worked on. Taxi Ride in 2012, in no particular order. Ayeye, the TV series, 2015 to 2020. Isibaya, episode 1 in 2016. Mamoriri, the TV movie in 2016. It's Okay, We Family, it's a TV series. That was in 2017. The Herd, TV series in 2018. The Imposter, TV series in 2018. Vuta, TV series in 2020. The First Last Tour, 2022. Queen of Kate in 2016. Mbeu, SAFTA nominated for. The Blessed Girl, which is in pre-prod. It's going to be on Netflix. She was invited to the G20 Youth Summit, which is happening in September. And she was the assistant director for Fences in 2024. Guys, please help me welcome Rorisang Motuba.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I think that's a great way for me to start my Friday.
Yeah.
Just say that every morning. What affirmations? Thank you.
Yeah. How are you doing? You good?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. Yeah.
I'd like us to start in the beginning. Like when you could have been in your teen, you could have been in your primary. When was it that this film bug hit you? Like when did you start really loving or thinking that you'd be in this industry?
Earlier than in my teens. By the time I was in my teens, my family was sick of me talking about it because they're like, yo, this girl's just been since she was like 6.
Yeah.
So I think when I was 6 years old, I'd gone to a movie with my sisters, my older sisters, and some of them were like, one of them was quite a bit older than me, so it probably wasn't an appropriate movie that I was watching. But the parents were like, you must go. They're like firstborn things. So I went to this movie, and I remember feeling quite astounded by the magic in the room. The cinema was packed, and I remember everybody laughing at the same thing. I didn't understand what they were laughing at because I was so small. But I was like, but that's pretty incredible that all of these strangers have come together and they're all laughing at the same thing. And I remember saying to myself very vividly, I want to be a part of that. Whatever that is, that magic moment, that creation where we can all just come and come from different walks of life. That's what I want to be a part of. And then it was only later on when I was like about 8 or 9, I was like, oh, it's acting. I was like, oh, it's acting. That's what you want to do. So then I started to say to my family, I want to be an actress, I want to be an actress, I want to be an actress. And they said, okay, cool. And, at school, I was always involved in the arts. Shows and music. Yeah. And then I started writing, then I started directing. So the toolbox just expanded as I've gotten older. But definitely since I was, I think 6 years old, I've been saying this to my family. So they're tired of hearing about it. But very supportive. So they're excited with everything that happens. So when it came to you finishing school, telling your parents or your family that you want to go and study. Did you study media? Yeah, I studied. I was at GCT.
What was that conversation like before you got there?
That conversation, they were like, yeah, we know.
Yeah.
By the time I said, when I was in grade 11, they're like, we know.
Yeah.
So I'd say to them, I want to study drama at university. And I ended up studying, I went GCT, and I ended up studying drama, politics, and film and media studies. So it was a triple major, which, interestingly enough, all actually made sense as just subjects that are related. There's drama and politics, there's politics and drama, film and media is a part of all of it. So it actually ended, I didn't plan it that way, but it ended up working out pretty well for me in that regard. Yeah.
And then the transition from schooling to working, what is your process like? Like what were you doing? Were you working throughout school, finding connections, or what is your process into getting into the work field?
I mean, I wasn't, at that point, I was trying to make connections, but I was very focused on school because what my parents were very clear about was that you have to pass your subjects. You can't, we're not going to have you drop out. We've worked hard to pay for this education, so you must finish. So at that point, I guess high school and university, I was always just focused on my studies and making connections with colleagues, with people who have now become colleagues, of mine. And after UCT, I then was lucky enough to study in America and lived in LA for 3 years, where I just did acting for film. Not just, but I did acting for film for 3 years.
That's exciting.
And that was incredible. So made connections there. And then I came home and then I was able to, all of the things, like the pebbles that I'd picked up on the way, I was able to start to like get it together in terms of formulate a career and start to really work in the industry.
Wow.
You know, and like reach out to people reaching out to me. But I was a student, man. I was a student. I think that's the most important thing that I was. I was just studying. I always felt like I wanted to be a child star. I wanted to be a child star, but then my friend in America, and I was always upset that I wasn't. You know, because I was like, it's so difficult now because if I was 11 and I started then, I'll just still be here. And they were like, yes, but you got a childhood. You know, you got to live a life. You got to not be in the spotlight. And so I'm really grateful that I got those years of just experiencing life, just studying, just living. And then it was later on in my 20s when things started to become like more active, more focused in terms of the work that I wanted to do. And that's when things started to happen.
I love that.
Thank you.
And so I'm sure you could have worked anywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
You chose home, South Africa.
Yeah, I did.
What is the reason for that? I'm sure.
Firstly, because I love home. I love Johannesburg very much. Born and bred, Joburg woman. I think that we have such incredible stories to tell on this continent, and we have only scratched the surface. And I definitely want to be part of a generation that we can just tell and give stories to the world. That's always been my intention. Like, my dream has never been just about me. It's always been about the industry, about our people, about our stories. And also because, I mean, the landscape of filmmaking and creativity is changing. So, you know, yes, I did go to Hollywood and I was there for 3 years, and I came back and it was really like visa issues that I, you know, had to come back home. But coming back home has been such a blessing because now we're actually in a space where people are coming to us to shoot here. And that's where so many international productions that are coming here, so many movie stars that you see just walking in Cape Town. You're like, oh my gosh, is that Lupita? Is that Leonardo? It's happening all the time. They come and shoot here because we have world-class crews and it's one of the most beautiful places in the world to work at. So it almost felt like, why wouldn't I be here at home as opposed to in LA hustling? I'd rather hustle here at home where I'm with my people and I know that there's just such a plethora of story and content to share with the world. Yeah. And also, like, you know, just let's restore our narrative. You know, we're not just our past. We're not just our struggle as a country. And we need to, I want to be a part of also telling stories about happiness, about love, about complexity of romantic relationships, about families, about culture, about, you know what I mean, about magic. Like, I want to be a part of that narrative, and I didn't want to necessarily be overseas when that movement was beginning to happen. So I came home, and as I said, it was a visa issue, but I came home and I was like, this is actually where I was supposed to be, always. So, and I am bicontinental in the sense, so I'll still go back and work in New York and do things like that. So it's not like I'm only going to be here, but being here is very important as a storyteller.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And also, I wanted to ask, in terms of like it being lucrative, for the students out there and the kids out there that really want to get into this, is this lucrative in this country? Like, I know in the States, people are making money. Everywhere else, people are making money.
I'll be honest.
In SA, how lucrative is it to like just have this as your mainstream?
It's not easy. And it's not as lucrative as it should be. It could be more lucrative than it is. And that's why we're in such a fight as artists to like get residuals, to get royalties. And that's the fight that we are in. And it comes down to us being protected as artists and having a union that does recognize that, hey, if you were on a TV show 10 years ago, now that TV show is being sold to a Netflix or any other streaming service, you should get residuals as the actor who is the lead or the supporting on that show. And we're not at that space yet. So unfortunately, it's not as lucrative as it should be. But we continue to fight for it to be that way. But it is very difficult, and it can be challenging. Definitely can be challenging in terms of just maintaining a living. You know, one of the famous quotes is like, being an out of work actor is one of the most expensive jobs. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Because you have to maintain your look, your lifestyle, your livelihood, whilst you
debts.
still your
Yeah.
debts, you know what I mean? Whilst
Yeah.
you're still, going on auditions or submitting scripts or in production. So it's not easy. And so there is like the business of acting that we still, I think, as like a community in South Africa need to be aligned with. But it's also difficult if we don't have the principles and the pillars that other industries have, like America has with their unions, SAG-AFTRA, and in London, you know what I mean? They have those parameters so they can then...
SAG.
You know what I mean? So they can push for that, whereas we are still fighting very hard to get those... And it's just justice, really. I mean, we work hard, we work because we're members of community and we contribute. So we should also have our protections. But like if you go on set, there's no HR on a TV set. You know what I mean? There's no HOD of acting on a TV set. So it's like you kind of have to be your own HR, your own agent, your own actor, your own this person. You have to have your own back. And that can be difficult because you just want to go and act, man. You just want to be on set.
Like, surely because of that, like you say, there's no HR on set or anything like that. Surely we're supposed to be unionized. We're supposed to have some sort of union.
We should be.
Why do you think there isn't? Like, why isn't there any union for like
honestly,
freelancers?
For freelancers, for actors in general, right?
Actors,
not just freelancers.
Not just freelancers, like the crew members, the
everyone
actors,
in the industry, for the industry.
I feel like we should. It should have been
100%.
Like, why isn't it there?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think, I don't know. I think a part of it has to do with just like hoarding resources, hoarding money. I don't know if it's just an element of just come do your work and leave. But it's definitely something that's so unfortunate about our industry. And I wish it wasn't the case, but I don't know why it's not there, because that ultimately is in the hands of like production companies, producers, and ultimately like the people who can sign us into like having a proper union. So then it goes to like a government level, right? It goes to local and national government level. So I don't know the reason that they're saying no. You know, if you've been on this TV show for 20 years and it's been purchased in 5 international territories, you shouldn't get residuals. I don't know. It's why it doesn't make sense, especially because that's very much what our other like industries and parts of the world just have as a norm.
True.
You know, so it's unfortunate. I don't know why though.
Yeah.
They must answer to that.
Government.
Government. You hear me? You see me?
So now we're going to move into the in-depth side of things.
All right.
Let's get into the nitty-gritty.
Oh, let's get into it. Let's get into it.
Things of the writer's world.
Okay.
So like, what's your process with working with different writers? But before we get there, so like, give us like you going to work, like paint us a picture of what that looks like. Are you around like in the boardroom with like other writers? Like, what does that look like? How do you guys like bring up these things?
I think it depends on the particular project, but for the most part, there will be a writer's room. Like if it's a TV show, I've done quite a few TV shows, and so there will be a writer's room where we will have workshops, you know, and we'll just go through story, character development, like seasonal arcs, emotional arcs of where we want our characters, you know, to go to. And then after that, and you've done maybe like a week's worth of workshops or maybe more, bro, you're alone. You're alone, you're writing alone in a room. Yeah. It's just you at your laptop, wherever you're comfortable, at home, in a coffee shop, wherever it is, in a park. Yeah. And it's you like writing. And it can be quite intimidating because of that reason. But like you have that foundation of a writer's room, which is always great because it's always nice to be able to spitball ideas with each other, right? Yeah. Because sometimes I'll write something and I'm like, this is hilarious. And then I'm like, I don't know if they have your sense of humor, girls. So I don't know. This might be a bit dark for them. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's always nice to kind of get a temperature read and gauge, you know, with other people. And so for the most part, when it comes to TV shows, that's what we do. Whether it's drama, comedy, telenovelas, you know, we come together as a writing community. But after that, you go and you write on your own. And it can be lonely actually to do that. And you just have to have the confidence of like, oh, and now I'm submitting. I hope they get it. Yeah. I hope it works out. But
have you ever had like a conflict with another writer for like whatever reason?
Oh yeah.
Like, how do you guys handle that? Like arguments, and I'm sure it gets heated.
There's a lot of chicken scratch that happens. Yeah, I mean, we definitely do have conflicts with writers, with editors, with producers, directors with channel, just about, because we'll come in with a particular vision but it's their vision that they've sold to the channel, and it just needs to make sense for everybody. So there is always going to be an element, in my experience, there's always been an element of compromise. You're never going to completely get what you want to get out, unless it's like you're Quentin Tarantino, who, writes and directs, and he just like gives the studio the script, and he's like, this is what's happening. There are no edits, there are no notes.
And he shoots like
and then he shoots, and then he shoots, and that's it, right?
Yeah.
But if you people like us who like are commissioned to come and write on a TV show where there's already a concept, or who've said this is what a channel is saying, they want this kind of genre, let's develop it. There are always going to be concessions you have to make. And that being said, yes, you absolutely are going to have conflict with people. You just have to make it work, just like in any other industry. So we just have a mature conversation. What is your vision for this? What is mine? And let's try and make it work, and ultimately service the client. And that's what we just have to do. But it can get heated in those rooms because it's an emotional industry and profession that we're in. And people bring their own personal stuff to it, and you don't even realize until they're like yelling. Yeah. And
calm down.
Like, okay, this is your story. And it's like, no, it's not. I think it is. Yeah. I think this is about you and your wife.
I get
you know what I mean? Like, okay, sorry, I don't know. This is what you guys thought about.
That's kind of interesting. Yeah.
That's peace. You know what I mean? So then she just becomes that. Yeah. So, and you just had to kind of understand, you can always sense when someone, it's like very personal to them because it's their story, it's their brother, it's their sister, it's their dad, it's their heritage. And because they always come with a particular kind of energy towards it. And we respect each other. And again, we just make it work, compromise. That's what we have to do. Yeah.
Who are let's name me your top 3 authors.
Authors?
Yeah, I like big authors.
Okay. I love this question. So, Chinua Achebe, Things Fall Apart.
He's on my list.
Is he on your list? Yeah. Listen, I remember
love him. Things Fall Apart.
When I was at GCT, I think first year. Like I read Things Fall Apart, we studied it, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah, it was amazing.
I mean, he's like one of the fathers of African literature, right? So, definitely there. Yeah. In terms of our local authors, the movie that I'm now adapting for Netflix, Angela Makholwa, who's an incredible author. She's written so many books, and I think on the continent, maybe mistaken, but I think on the continent, like her works have been adapted the most. Yeah. She's been published internationally to TV shows, to movies, and she is amazing because her work just spans many genres. So thrillers, crime dramas, action, comedy. The one that I'm adapting is a dark comedy, but she is unbelievable. And then because I'm also a love of poetry, I would say Rumi, who's an incredible poet. And Rumi's like, I think that book is the most weathered book in my house. It's the essential works of Rumi. And it's like a Bible to me. You know what I mean? I'll just go and I'll just open up a page and read the most incredible words and art and literature. And I think that's always going to stick with me. So there's poetry, African literature, and then our beautiful contemporary artists of Angela. I think those are now my top 3. Yeah.
I'd say, okay, I'll give my top 3.
Please.
Normally I'd ask for like 10,000 subs before I say anything about myself. But my top 3 is Chinua Achebe.
Okay, yes.
Paulo Coelho.
Oh my gosh, The Alchemist.
Yes, love that.
The Alchemist, right? I read that, a poem from The Alchemist at my friend's wedding. And I was like, come on, yes. The Alchemist changed my life.
I love that book.
Yeah.
Paulo Coelho and Kaya Janda.
Oh, I love
Kaya's my friend. He's
You're
going to
suffer for that. You're going to suffer for that. Like, you don't understand.
I saw your reaction. No, but it's good.
I would love that.
No, Kaya Janda, I love you, bro. I love you.
Kaya, do you already say it?
But just not top 3, though. Not top 3.
My man, not your.
I'm sorry, but like,
that's okay.
Top 3.
Funny. That is spicy.
Yeah, sorry.
That's wrong. That's wrong. Spice. Rajana. Yeah. Turmeric. There you go.
But I'll say she's going to be surprising, but her name is Katie Byron. And she wrote a book called 1,000 Ways to Find Joy. And my mom gave me this book after I went through like a spiritual awakening of sorts. And each chapter like made sense to how I saw the world now, like as a reborn type of person.
what's it called? 1,000?
1,000 Ways to Find Joy.
1,000 Ways to Find Joy.
Like each chapter, I actually went through each chapter. And she's talking about like a 60-year-old white woman in the hospital going through something. And it's funny how I related to that. So
But that's the
Katie
art,
Perry.
right? That's the writings, because you can relate to it. If it's pure, if it's pure and it's complex and there's an authenticity about it,
Yeah.
you will relate to anything.
Sure.
That's beautiful. I'm so glad.
Yeah.
Kaya.
Kaya, please forgive me. What is your favorite part of writing?
Oh, gosh. I think my favorite part of writing, even though it's the most difficult part, but my favorite part is actually the blank page. It's the very beginning of it, where you have an idea in your mind. Because for me, with my writing always starts here first. It starts in my heart first, and then it goes to my head, and then only do I get to typing it out or writing it out. I'm always writing before I'm actually physically.
I hear that. Yeah, I hear that.
Who was it? Someone who said, he was a famous author or writer, and they said to him, "So you're working on anything at the moment?" He was like, "Probably." Because you're not technically writing first. You're always writing here first. So for me, once I get to that blank page of what I want to say, what I want to write, that's actually the most intriguing part for me. That's the most exciting, thrilling, the adrenaline of that. Of like, oh my gosh, it's a blank page, and I'm going, scene 1, interior.
Yeah, I
You know what I mean? Like, oh my gosh, interior, what time is it today? What's happening? So walks in, how old are they? 29. You know, whatever it is that you're writing, I think that's always like the beginning of the creation, because the first draft is always the most difficult. But once you have that, then you have the canvas, and then you're constantly just editing and shaping and shifting, and it's like with that first draft is always the most intriguing for me, because I'm like, oh, is this what I wanted to say? And then you're like, hey, no, this scene doesn't work, or the scene can shift up to here. And so that for me is the most favorite part, is that blank page when you as a writer sit alone and you start going, and it's the first lines of your character.
It usually feels like you're doing this.
Yes.
On the page. Yeah.
Or what's that meet cute between what's the rom-com moment? You know, what's that thriller moment? What's that structural change that the audience is going to be like, oh my gosh, I didn't see this coming. That for me is always intriguing, because that's when you really are making a skeletal of what you're doing.
Yeah.
As I said, not the easiest, but it's my favorite part.
Yeah. What's your least favorite?
Least favorite would probably be writing. As I said earlier, writing can be a very lonely profession. So I think the least favorite part of it is that I can spend, like 2-3 days, at my house just writing, and I won't see anyone because I've got a deadline, or that's what I'm doing. And I have a really supportive community, so I can always reach out to people, but always reach out to me. But the least favorite part of it is that you're alone in that particular way. I mean, there's a writer's room in the beginning, but after that,
it's done.
It's done. So it's just you alone. And I think that can be isolating in many ways. And then what you then have to do is then be mindful about, I need to get out, I need to see people, I need to reach out, I need to go out and live in the world, because that's how you become a writer. You go out and you live. But so it's like you go out and you live, and then you come and you isolate. And you go out and you live and you come and isolate. And that's actually the most difficult part about writing, is that it's quite an extreme profession, because you go out in the world and you engage, or you just observe
people watch, right? I do that all the time.
You just sit like this, and you're quiet.
Have your coffee.
I'm not quiet. You don't know what I'm doing. I'm not quiet.
Making up scenarios about what this person might be going through.
Interesting. I'm always going, that's an interesting story. Look at these people. Yeah. So you go out and you kind of engage and you absorb in that kind of way, and then you go home and you have to make it something. And that can be difficult and lonely and isolating. So it's just about finding that balance.
How do you deal with do you ever go through writer's blocks? And if so, I would think you'll deal with it by going outside and just experiencing something else. But what's your take?
I definitely have had writer's blocks before. It's such an uncomfortable feeling, because it's I love writing. I love what I do. It makes me feel really good. It's very nourishing. And then you get to a space where you don't know what to write. You don't know what to say. So how I deal with it is that it is this thing of actively going out and just being out in the world. And also maybe distracting myself from the fact that I'm writing something. So it's like, let me not engage with it in terms of, what I've got a deadline, I've got a this, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to say. Let me just go out and be in the world. Because, I remember one of my acting teachers said the ways that artists can continue to engage their creativity, because it is a long journey if you stick with it, is to either get into a relationship, to travel, or to watch live performances. Those are the three ways he said you can continue to.
What are those three things again?
Relationship. So relationship, travel, and live performances. Any kind of live performance,
That makes
comedy
sense.
show, music show, ballet, whatever it is, jazz, amapiano, whatever it is. Then a relationship, because that shows you a lot of your true nature and your true self and how you deal with people in real time. So how you deal with someone in an intimate space. So whether you guys are fighting or you're in a space of joy, in a space of lust, a space of just happiness, a space of silence, whatever it is, but that can tell you a lot about your own self, a lot about your spirit, and you're also experiencing someone in an intimate space, experiencing their funk, experiencing their great smells, whatever it is, you are there, right? And then travel, because it gets you to a space of being almost anonymous in the world. And you just get to almost introduce yourself to people in you. So you can say, hey, this is who I am. And you can make up a complete lie about who you are to someone that you're visiting in Italy. It doesn't matter. But the point is that you get to experience a different culture, energy, vibe. The sun is going to feel different in the West than it does here. We know this. The ground is going to feel different. The people, what you choose to engage in. And that also just kind of invigorates your spirit and your creativity. So it's like those things. And not to make it like a contrived way. So you're not just getting into a relationship so you can like write a script. But just about that is one of the lessons that you can take, is that being in a relationship is going to just awaken you.
I love that.
Yeah.
Do you at times include like elements of your own life into your scripts?
I do. I just hide it very well. So you guys have no idea.
Yeah.
You guys have no idea what I've been talking about. I forget what his name is. But like, no, I absolutely do. And like, family stuff, friendship stuff, absolutely I do. I think that's part of what makes us artists is you do pull from your life. And even pulling from your life doesn't necessarily have to mean this happened in my family, but you can have an understanding of this is what happens in families. And so you're always pulling from something that's personal, because if it's not personal, then what are we doing?
True.
Then what are we doing if it's not personal?
True.
Like art is personal.
And if it's not like real.
If it's not real, if it's not personal, if it's not political, if it's not standing for something, if it's not fighting for something, if it's not supporting something, then why are we here? Because it can be quite difficult just to kind of make a living and to fight for our rights and that kind of thing. So if it's not important to you personally, then it's very difficult to make it a thing. Then why are we here?
Yeah. I love that.
Honestly, yeah. So yeah, I do. There's lots of stuff that I've done that you're like, oh, how'd she get that? Or how'd she get there? And I was like, you don't know.
I want to go watch that. I did just search out. Which plots and structure were you most proud of, and why?
Well, that's a biggie. I will say the one that's coming to mind is Ayeye. And the reason for that is because I was one of the first writers.
Good show, by the way. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
I was one of the first writers on that show back in the day, and it was just so interesting because we were really just wanting to write a show about this like really sexy group of mostly Black and brown creatives in the industry who were almost the captains of industry in many ways. Or at least like the very exciting ones who were just doing that, the sexy campaigns, the Coca-Cola this, the MTN that, the Vodacom. And it was just it was a time where, South African commercials were considered some of the best in the world.
That's true.
And these people, these men and women, were at the helm of it, And so, but also the lifestyle is quite explicit. It's fine, it looks fine, but it's also quite
sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Boardrooms, boardrooms and bedrooms.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was really great to actually explore that in that world, because it kind of felt like a very contemporary show. It felt like a lot of our shows at the time were very family-based, homegrown-based. This family, this front door opposite this person, this cultural moment that you're going to, this wedding. And it just felt like these are just these young, fun guys,
Black guys.
in the creative space who basically have like the world, like Johannesburg, you know, at their feet, which makes you the world, because Johannesburg is one of the best places ever. So it's like you guys can do whatever you want, and you
love that show.
Smart, sexy, fun, interesting, intelligent, and incredibly smart and like creative. So to be able for us to capture that world, and we did a lot of research for that. We spoke to a lot of creatives from different agencies, and we just really had a nice deep dive into that world of advertising and marketing. And I think the show because the original one with the guys, Botapelo, you know, that
shout out Tapelo, he's cool.
I saw him this week. What's up? So that show, I believe, really captured a moment for a particular generation of Black advertisers in a really, really great and fun way. And even to this day, people still talk about that original, that Ayeye show. Everyone's like, wow, this is fun. And you see it in the streets, but then you saw it on television.
Yeah, it is incredible.
And so for me, I'm very, very proud of that show. Always will be.
And season 2 gonna come on YouTube soon.
I don't know. I'm not just here. I'd love season 2. But it's interesting because it's almost like it was a time capsule. So we can't do season 2 because they're still advertisers.
We're all grown up now.
But we've all grown up, and it's a different era of advertising that we're in. That was a particular like fun and fearless era of like
an era
advertising
in which we're
so there's that kind of thing. I think we were all still like excited from the World Cup, like there's just this like feverishness about things, you know. So I think season 2 would be great if it was, you know, and we just see like what stories it would be telling. But it's such a different era of politics, of social engagement. I know that some of the stuff that we spoke about is like, I don't know if we could get away with it now. You know what I mean? And I don't think it's aged badly.
They were quite like raunchy.
But it was definitely the wormhole of culture that was embraced back then. And now I think it's kind of been looked at differently.
But like, I sort of hate that, how like we have to be sort of like sensitive to like nuances of what people feel and whatever. Like with comedians now, they feel like contrived because they can't like talk about certain things.
So do you think we've got into the extreme? Like the extreme side of it, of like now you're so sensitive, you don't want to be cancelled, you can't age badly.
Also that whole thing of like cancel culture, it's not real. Like people say it, but it's not really real. Like people still listen to like people like R. Kelly, and people still listen to Tory Lanez. Like what is
like a criminal?
What is cancel culture? I don't feel like it's real.
I'm fine. You in jail.
You know
what I mean? But you're the actual criminal. I think like it's about having taste. It's about having taste. And as artists, I think we do have to move with where the general like the energy of and frequency that the world is moving into.
So you don't feel contrived anyway. Like
I don't feel like contrived. I don't feel stifled. I don't feel like there are things that I can't say. There are things that I'm not going to say because why would I say them? So you also have to be mindful that we still are tastemakers in many ways. And so we can't feel like, oh no, I can't say this. Well, why would you want to say this? Why would you want to make a joke about sexual assault or this or that? So let's talk about how we can still engage with each other without being offensive. And being offensive doesn't necessarily mean you're not funny or you are funny. It's just about what is your intelligence and your nuance on a particular subject, because you can talk about many things, but it's about what are you saying?
And is it important?
Do we need to say it?
I learned that from you. So what advice could you give, like, or would you give the young guy, girl out there studying or still at school, wanting to be a scriptwriter in South Africa and wanting to make it work, and something that you could help maybe propel them? What would that be?
Firstly, the advice I'd give is to enjoy yourself as much as you can, because it's real out here. It's hard out here. But more than anything, I think it's just about like, if you want to write, you need to read a lot. That's the biggest thing. I think that can be your biggest lesson. Whether it's books, whether it's screenplays. You know, one of the things I always say to young filmmakers, and it's advice I got given when I was younger, was that, you know, watch a movie or TV show, then go, and if you have access, you have the resources, go and get the screenplay, read the screenplay, and then watch that movie or TV show again, just to see what ended up on screen. but also how they made it work, how they brought it to life, how they brought the written word to life, and what made it work, what made it not work, if that's what you, because that is such a great study, that's such great study material. So some of my favorite movies, I mean, I've got so many screenplays that I've downloaded. So it's like Fleabag or The Godfather or Insecure, all of these things that I'm just watching, even if it's from a formatting perspective, a structural perspective, how do you write scripts? This is what it looked like when Issa Rae was like breaking the fourth wall. What does that look like if you're writing that?
Funny you mentioned that. I was watching season 6.
Were you really?
Last night, yeah.
Were you really?
As you know, yeah.
Nice, no? Yeah.
It's funny how the world works.
Yeah.
Like,
I love it so much.
yeah, it's really cool.
Do you know what I mean? So it's just just read. Read as much as you can. If you're able to, just get the resources that you can just read scripts, read books, poetry, because honestly, that for me was it was a game changer, because if you want to write, you have to be reading.
True.
You have to be reading.
If you want to write, you have to be reading, folks.
That's what I said.
Now let's move to the more light-hearted stuff.
Okay, great.
Moving on to the
that
games.
Wasn't light-hearted?
Yeah, it was actually, but I liked it. It was like quite in depth, but like light-hearted at the same time.
Sure.
But this is more like lighthearted.
Let's go.
Like this is like juice.
Okay. Oh, juicy.
The other one was called drink.
Okay. Spice and hot sauce.
All right. So I'm gonna ask you some questions just to get to know you in a different light.
Okay.
The first one is, if you could star in any movie, what would it be, and what character would you play?
Okay. Any movie. Okay. I actually have an answer to this. It would be. It's Whoopi Goldberg. Okay?
Yeah.
She's one of my favorite
Sister.
actresses. Be Sister Act?
Yeah, Sister Act.
Or Ghost.
Oh, okay. I
Sister Act or
you.
Ghost. Because
I
I just think she's such a great comedic actress, but
Yes.
she's such gravitas.
Mm.
She's such gravitas. So Be Sister Act because it's fun. And I just think that's such a great role. And then it would be like Ghost, because I think that there's a spiritual element to that movie that's really incredible. And you being like a medium and a conduit for someone who's transitioning, right? That's something that's very important to me in that kind of way. So I think those are the roles I play. I'd also love to play Ororo Monroe, who some people know Storm, in like Black Panther.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
like
yes,
X-Men.
yes.
Yes, I'd love to be an X-Men. Yeah,
I feel you. Have you seen Whoopi Goldberg in Harlem? She's amazing. She's so
guys.
dope.
Like she's my hero.
I think,
love her so
she's
much.
so
I can't
dope.
wait to meet her.
Yeah.
So that'll be it.
Okay, I like that.
Thank you.
What is your favorite movie to watch over and over again, and why?
I've got a few. Parasite is my current favorite movie.
I read about it last night. Like, I've got to see it.
Unbelievable. So I can watch the movie over. I keep telling people we watched it. They're like, no. I was like, let's watch it together.
Yeah.
Parasite, Moonlight.
Moonlight.
Such a gorgeous movie. And then also, to be honest, The Lion King. Because I was one of those kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Same.
I just grew up in that era, man.
Yeah.
So I can't help it.
Sheesh, yeah.
Like,
That's a good selection.
Yeah, thanks.
That's a good selection.
Yeah.
If you could have dinner with any movie character, now you haven't been one, you can't say
Any
three,
movie character?
you can't say three, you can't say two, it has to be one. If you could have dinner with any movie character, living or dead, who would you choose? and why?
Character, not actor.
Character.
Oh, gosh. Okay. It would probably be, this is interesting, but maybe like Morgan Freeman when he's playing God in Bruce Almighty.
Oh, I like that. That's cool. Yeah.
So there's a few questions.
Yeah.
There's a few notes.
That's a unfair. You basically choosing God.
I'm choosing God. I'm actually choosing God. Yeah, very good.
That's all. Well, that's smart. That's smart. I see.
Yes, but see what you said.
Yes.
You see the mind trick I just did. Yeah.
I see you. I see. What movie quote always makes you laugh or cry?
Oh gosh, that's a beautiful question. Always makes me laugh. I think it would be It's in As Good As It Gets, which is a movie Jack Nicholson was in with Helen Hunt. And he plays this like narcissistic guy who's just like, I don't know if he's got ADHD, but he's just like very meticulous and he's just a very like a grouchy person. And just everyone hates him and in the world. And then he meets this waitress who's this single mom who's going through so much. She's got a sick child, and they go on this date, and she says to him, it's a scene where she says he insults what she's wearing, right? And then she says to him, like, you have no idea how much you just hurt me by saying what you said.
Mm.
And then he goes on this like long dialogue, and eventually the last line of the monologue that he says, you make me want to be a better man.
Yeah. That's powerful. Wow.
You make me want to be a better man. That has always touched me and got me. And just like that, like you can be with someone and they can just make you want to be better as a person for yourself. And they're inspiring that in you. You make me want to be a better man. And I think for me that captures. Are you crying? Are you sure? I told you.
But you got me there.
I got you there. You're like, whoa. But yeah, it's, I mean, the many I could think of, but that's the one that actually just came to me now. You make me want to be a better man.
No, that's cool. That's actually quite powerful.
Thank you.
If you could change one thing about a movie, what would it be and why? It's like any movie that you're like, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't say that. Sure. It's also like a script writing point of view. Perspective. It's
always like endings of movies, right? Yeah. That you like maybe want to change.
So which ending would you change? And what would you have changed it to?
Which ending I would change? Gosh. Let me think. I mean, I think this is quite a common one, but in like, I don't know, in Titanic.
Mm.
There was enough space for both of them, like, on that door frame, right? Leo didn't need to die. You didn't need to die.
Yeah.
You didn't need to die. But it was just like, and then she like lets him like fall into the dark water.
That's very controversial. You people
it is. I know, and it's fine.
But I like it.
Get at me. Get at me, please. You know my Instagram. You know me. Let's talk. Let's talk about this. But I think that's something that I would definitely shift.
Yeah.
I mean, people have watched this movie also, but I think in like Set It Off. If you haven't watched, I'm sorry, but spoiler alert.
Set It Off, that chili.
Yeah, with like Queen Latifah and Vivica A. Fox and Jada Pinkett. Yes. One of the characters passes away. I hated that she passed away. I would have wanted her to get away as opposed to pass away, because I know that it had to happen from a story perspective, but it breaks my heart every time I watch that. That's like, my girl.
Makes sense.
My girl is like left for dead, basically. Yeah. I think I would change those.
Okay.
Others, I don't know.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, for sure, I'll change those things. A lot of it's about endings, right? Where characters end up like what their arc ends up actually being. But it's a beautiful way to tell stories, because where are we all going to end up? You know?
Talking about endings.
Yeah.
I felt some type of way about I don't know, it's going to be controversial because it's going through some stuff. But Tyler Perry's latest movie with
Taraji. Yeah.
What is the name of the movie again? I forget.
Yes.
I don't know if you saw it.
I saw it, yeah.
That whole,
where she's in the bank.
Twist also about like the child never being there. I don't think that was like properly, I didn't quite get that. Like, it didn't quite make sense that she was never there, the way that they shot it. But like, never mind that. The ending though.
You would change that?
Yeah,
what would you
make it more like clearer that she's good, like she's not there.
She's under duress.
Yeah, like that the kid has never been there. Like that just it sort of felt like a last minute decision of like, oh yeah, we have to like say that she's not there right now. So how do we do this?
So do you feel it was gimmicky, or did you feel that it was like, I think
that part I just wasn't.
I think it was trying to address trauma, right, and trying to address like mental unrest. But I think
just the way
what you said, how it was shot, or maybe how it was seeded.
Yeah,
maybe could have like we could have started there.
Planted it.
Yeah,
and then made us like, oh yeah, believe this. You know,
I hear you. I'm sorry, you seem touched by that.
Yeah, but it was a good movie.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you in terms of AI now. Like,
and
basically like the fourth industrial revolution.
Yes.
That affecting the industry on all departments. What are your feelings towards that?
I think there's definitely a place for AI just because that's what the world does. I think the world always is in this place where we give each other what it is we apparently need or what we create. So I can't say that I'm mad at it, but I will say this is that you're never going to be able to take away what artists do. You're never going to be able to take away what an actor can do on stage, or what a creative person can just kind of pull out of the ether. You know what I mean? I'm currently in the beginning stages of writing a book. That's not AI. That's my idea. That's my original content. And there's no AI that could ever come up with that because I have a heart and a soul. You know what I mean? So I think there is a place for AI in terms of convenience more than anything else. I think AI can provide shortcuts to certain ways and solutions to certain things. But you can't take away like the existence of a human being and what we do in the world and our voice in our space. So I'm trying not to like get stressed about the space of AI, because I think that it's being utilized in a way to shortcut what artists can do and what we contribute. And like, I'm here to tell you that's never going to happen, that you cannot erase us. So you're going to try. It's never going to happen.
I love that.
It's never going to happen.
I love that.
Yeah.
And for like my last question. For
Not
those,
your last.
I know, right?
I'm so
enjoyed
comfortable
this
and
too.
warm.
I enjoyed this too. But for the, like, you know, like a lot of people like writing scripts these days. Like, doesn't matter what industry they're in, corporates, doesn't matter what it is. A lot of people like have scripts that they've written and they don't know how to like protect it or copyright it or like just so it doesn't, because no ideas, they float in the air. Like people can just take them and someone can make a film off of, you know, like what you've written. So how does one like protect their scripts in this country and like just like copyright it?
I think there are a few ways. I mean, there is the Writers Guild of South Africa that you can sign up to. It is, you know, money that you pay, you know, I think annually. And not I think, I know you pay annually. And they do have mechanisms and policies that you can protect your own script. So you write, and they don't vet it. So it's not like even a quality control type of thing. You join the association and then and they help you copyright your script.
Okay.
You know, and it's not as intimidating as it seems, but it is just that little bit of admin that one has to do, because it's very important. Because what ends up happening is that you have a script and you speak to people, you get into certain rooms, and then all of a sudden you see a show a year and a half later and you're like, that looks similar to what I wrote, and that's because you hadn't copywritten it, right? So things like that you can do. Also, there are ways that you can copyright a script even without being a part of like a guild. You know what I mean? And it's just about like understand, like go to like sites like the NFVF, those kinds of things. There are guidelines, that ways that you can protect your work and your intellectual property as an artist. And even though we all have like, we all hustling out here, we all want things to happen, and we all have like, you know, hungry stomachs. To the best of your ability, I would say, don't give your work to anyone who you don't trust, or who you cannot be a part of the creative process with them. To the very best of your ability. It's not always easy. I understand that. I've been there myself. Trust me. But back yourself, back your work. And someone will come, and they may not be from here. They may be from another country on our continent. They may be from overseas. But like, if your work is good and it's legit, or if it can be workshopped or massaged or elevated, someone will come. They will come. So don't just give it to like the first bidder, because they'll take it and they're gonna do whatever they want with it, and it's theirs. And then again, you're like, wow, this was my original concept, and then may not be what you wanted. And as artists, like when we write, you give a bit of like yourself in a script.
True.
So don't just give yourself away. Don't just give yourself away.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you for your insights.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for like giving us some golden nuggets and some gems and like schooling us on like the writer's side of things. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's please have me back.
Yeah, for sure.
No,
Season 2.
He's gonna have me back. Guys, he's gonna have me back. Yes, please have me back. But yeah, I can't wait. Thank you. This is such a beautiful forum, and thank you for giving us the space to just talk, because we often don't have this.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, we really, really don't. So I appreciate you. Bless you guys all for doing this. It's been really wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Have a good weekend.
You too.
You have a good weekend.
Cut. Prince. Check the gate.
There we go.
So I was running around away from the tiger now.
Yeah.
It almost lured me.
Yeah.
I ran away and I got off. So I can't do this.
It's all good.